When I'm working in the garage today, I was going to show you a neat digital tape measure by a company called REEKON. It's called the Tomahawk 1. It is a industrial style digital tape measure. You've probably seen digital tape measures before, but this one's a little more unique. In the box, you get this tape measure here. You're going to get decal, quick start guide, some things that talk about the app that they have. You've got a bracket that you can mount to the wall, and you can hang the tape measure like that. And you've got a case that the tape measure can sit in if you want to put this on your side and have a little bit of a protection with the tape measure, or you could just put the tape measure just by its own hook right here. A quick walk around the tape measure. You do have a charging port here in the back, and you do have a battery in the back right here. So it is a pretty decent sized battery. It's not going to go dead on you, I would say, in a day or maybe even a couple of weeks. So I've used it several times. The battery's not going dead on me. It needs a little bit of a charge. You get a little bit of an indicator right here, kind of where your battery is. The side here is what they call a white paper display. During the video, you may see this blink. It does that about every 10 seconds or so, just so it doesn't etch into the screen on this right here. The digital display is an OLED display. It has several neat features that definitely help this, I would say, as an additional tool to your tape measure. I don't know that this is a direct replacement to your tape measure, because there's going to be other things that maybe you want to continue to do with a regular traditional tape measure. But to me, this definitely has some use, and I'll kind of go through some of those features. If I miss something, you could also check out on the REEKON website, and also I'll have some Amazon affiliate links that describe maybe in more detail than I can do in this short video. In your quick start guide, though, just real quickly, they'll kind of talk about your display, your calibration of your tape measure there when you first open it up, and then you've got little things like you can auto lock the tape, the diagram of the buttons on the tape measure itself, and then they've got what they call quick actions that you can go through there. Tells you how to toggle through all those menus and little features that it has. Again, installing your battery. Selecting your unit of measure. You've got a way to save your measurements to what they call that e-paper. That's going to be what's on the side of the tape measure there. The quick little review showing you every little feature and what each thing on the tape measure is. And then you've got kind of describing what that e-paper display is showing you. Also on the back of that quick start guide, you're going to have all of these little features. It shows what each toggle does, showing center, creating groups. The layout guide talks about how to charge the battery. You can leave the battery in and just charge it just by raising that back port. There is an app for this as well. So one of the neat features, I haven't used the app yet, but the neat feature is that you can have somebody on a roof measuring with the tape measure and send this to your cut man at the saw. So you don't have to get off the roof or anything, and this would send this through the app to that person using the same app, and would be able to make those cuts without you really even communicating. And you can create groups on this tape measure, so if you know you're measuring several different things and you want to send that in a group form to the cut man, he'll know exactly what your groups are. A few other things they talk about your tape measure blade. That is replaceable and repairable, so they have different options for that. So if you wanted to change it out or got damaged, they do have 2 or 3 other options for that tape blade there. So real quickly, we'll talk about some of this features. So you have a power up function here where we're powered up now. You can read that digital display is really nice, easy to read. And you've got your release here. So if you wanted to release your tape measure back in. How it's getting this digital reading is on the back side of that tape measure. It's reading it almost like a barcode. So I would say that keeps it very accurate. It's not actually reading the numbers on the front. All right, while we're in this position, I'll kind of cycle through what types of measurements you can do. So you've got inches, you've got feet and 32nd of an inch. You can go to feet and 16th of an inch. You can go to just feet in a digital format. Then you've got centimeters, you've got millimeters, meters, you've got inches and a fraction to the 32nd, inches and a fraction to the 16th, and you can just go to just that decimal reading there for the measurement in inches. Right here, you can lock the tape measure. Right now, it's kind of has a break inside there, and it lets it stop at wherever you're at. So when you press and let it back in, you can press down, and that way the tape measure will just slide in and out without having to release it back in. That's a neat feature if you're wanting to just go real quickly, take a measurement, and let the tape measure go back in. The little white paper I was telling you. So as an example, let's just take this thing out to say 5 inches or close to 5 inches there. So we're right around 5 inches here, and you hit the plus sign. That lets you know it's added that to your white paper. So if you're ever like, what did I just measure? I don't have a pen and paper, I don't need to write that down. It's gonna save that on there. Going through your menus, you know, you've got like a delete here where you can delete everything off the white paper. That was where I was just changing the increments of measurement. Another neat feature is you have a green laser. So say you're wanting to get a real precise measurement. See if you can see that. You can have that and make your mark with your pencil where that green laser is, and you can turn that back off so you're not running the battery down the whole time. So again, that's pretty helpful, I think, especially if you're trying to make just quick layouts. All right, we're gonna go through these features briefly. So coming here, you can add a group. So let's just say I'm gonna add a group. What that does is on your white paper here, it adds a second group. So say you're taking multiple measurements and the next measurement you wanna add is say somewhere around 10 inches. So now that adds that to group 2. This is also where I was trying to explain to you where your cut man on the app is gonna be able to see what's in group 1, what's in group 2. And you can toggle this. I think it holds something like 1,000 measurements that you can put in here. So you can see it's got group 1 or default, it's measurement A, measurement A. So as I continue, it's gonna add more of those measurements. So let's just say we go to a 16th there, or 16 inches. So now we've got 16, that's measurement B. All right, so we're gonna go back and say we wanna toggle. So when this toggle right here is going to include the base of the measuring tape plus what you start to extend. So we're already at 6.5 inches. So this is good for taking an inside dimension. So if you wanted to put that, say, on the inside of a rafter or something and measure the distance that you need for the next one, you can certainly just extend the tape. And like I said, that's including the size of the tape measure. So if you're wanting to just to go back and take that off, you just hit the button again and you see we're back to the normal measurement right there. So somewhere around 10 inches or so. All right, next you've got toggle relative. So the way that this works is, let's actually back out of this. So toggling relative is, we're gonna say, a lot of people like to cheat their tape measure 1 inch. So let's cheat this tape measure 1 inch. Go to toggle relative, hit the plus sign. That is now your 0 point. So if you're wanting to cheat 1 inch and use 1 as your 0 point, everything from where you said is my 0 is what it's going to do as far as start back at 0. And you can see if I let the tape all the way back in, I'm at -1. So again, bringing it all the way back out, you can see that is my 0 point. So if I wanted to cheat this tape measure 1 inch and use the actual increments and not worry about the digital display, that's where you would use that function. Show center. So the way that that works is any measurement, matter of fact, I've got to take that toggle relative back off. So we're gonna go back to show center there. So show center, the way that that's going to work is when you go to take a measurement, it's going to tell you what half that distance is. So going back there, so we're measuring that distance. So if we're going to measure, say, 6 inches, and again, this is more for longer measurements when you're not having to sit there and do the math real quick. So right now I've got the tape pulled out, say, to 6 inches here. Show center is going to show me it's at 3 inches. So again, it would do that depending on what you're trying to do. Say you're trying to lay out a piece and figure out what's the center of that piece. And you can change that dimension to fractions, whatever it is that you'd like to lay out there. All right, so now we're going to go, say, to flip screen. So if you're wanting to do left hand, right hand, you can have the screen go the other way. So you're not having to sit there and turn your tape measure all kind of directions. So let's go back and fix the screen. Let's go back to show center. All right, so. All right, the next thing is on your layout guide. If you can see that layout guide. So what that's going to do is it's going to use these measurements that you've put here on the side. So I'm going to scroll up to, say, 16. So if I'm doing 16-inch center, it's going to start to blink just like that to let me know I'm getting close to what I wanted on my layout. So this is good if you're going real quickly and you want to just do 16-inch centers. And again, it's going to do it based on what you've selected here. So say you're doing a quick layout and you want to just pull your tape measure out. This is also where this function of having that pressed in would be good. You're going to come out till 16-inch centers. You're going to start getting the flashing light to let you know, hey, you're right, it's your 16, and then make your mark. Then let your tape measure go back in. Then pull back out, go to 16, and then pull back out and go to 16 again. And then you can go back here to clear all in case you forgot. You can use multiple menus at the same time or multiple options at the same time. So if you're not sure what you turned on, you're getting weird readings there, you can clear that out. Clearing the white paper, you can just press and hold the trash can button there. And then at any time, like I was mentioning to you here on the side, if you're wanting to turn the laser on, you can turn that laser on. That's a brief overview of the REEKON Tomahawk 1. If this information was helpful, please subscribe and share. And that's to the point.